The September survivors playing into the final weekend of the state amateur baseball tournament. The race is on for the Class B title. Today, we have two winner-go-home matchups. One is already in the books, and it's the Champlin LoGators surviving the first game. Now they take on the Miesville Mudhens. That coming up next, live from Lions Field in Waconia.
Amateur baseball is one of Minnesota's great sporting traditions. The state tournament brings together hundreds of communities in late summer at great ballparks all around the state. Coverage of every game can be found on PrepSpotlight.tv. PrepSpotlight.tv's coverage of today's state tournament game is made possible by the Minnesota Baseball Association, and also with help from the Minnesota Twins. Celebrate Town Ball with the Twins on September 11th. Visit twinsbaseball.com/townball for details. Now let's get to the ballpark.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Waconia, Lions Field. We're live on PrepSpotlight.tv. I'm Eric Murphy on the call for this evening's matchup. It's winner go home once again for Champlin. They survived the first game we had here today against New Market. They move on in the losers bracket and now face the Miesville Mudhens. Winner moves on to the championship round tomorrow against Chanhassen. They'd have to beat the Redbirds twice to bring home the title. So that is our setup here. Let's talk a little bit about the Gators. We mentioned taking out New Market. And somebody right here talking to into our microphones here. We apologize for that. We are down in the crowd here in the grandstand in Lions Field. So anyway, like I was setting up, Champlin Park survived the game against New Market, a 4-2 victory here earlier today. Sam Riola, the complete game shutout victory. He was spectacular once again on the mound. And we'll bring up our crowd mic again. A little talking to from the crowd. And anyway, so before that, Champlin won the first two rounds, a 1-0 win over Hampton, then a wild 3-2 12-inning victory over Victoria before losing last week to Chanhassen 7-4. As for Miesville, they cruised through the first two rounds. All business as they took out Chaska. Remember, that game lasted all weekend. The game started Friday, halted due to rain after 3, then resumed Sunday. Had that game delayed, eventually a 9-0 victory, then a 10-run win over East Grand Forks, and a business-like victory 8-1 over New Market. And then last night in Hamburg, in that winner's bracket, they lost 3-2. A tight contest, hotly contested game where they actually led for the majority of the game, but end up falling 3-2 to their rivals, the 3-time defending champ, Chanhassen Redbirds. And we are underway. Game 2 for Champlin Park, game 2 for us here in the Class B bracket on PrepSpotlight.tv. And the Mudhens on the mound. There in the field is the home team in their beautiful pinstriped uniforms. And Jake Dickmeyer dealing here. This is actually Dickmeyer's third start in the tournament. So one thing that you're always looking for is the team that has an advantage when it comes to pitching. You have to manage your pitchers here as you get into the final weekend and have potentially back-to-back games here. And last night, Riley Ahern continued his strong run. Riley with 3 decisions now, 2-1 of the tournament, took the loss last night against Chanhassen. He has been an arm that has emerged for Matt Vanderbosch in the Mudhens this year, and he has been solid. Pitched again great last night, but it also allowed Jacob Dickmeyer to stay fresh. And again, Jake, his third start. He started the first game of the tournament against Chaska, but with it halted due to rain, Ahern actually finished that one up as Jake is high here. So 1-2 the count on Riola, by the way. So anyway, Dickmeyer making his third start. He was brilliant in that 8-1 victory over New Market last weekend as Riola continues to try to figure him out. So Sam, by the way, the top hitter for Champlin Park this year, 60 hits, set the single season record. That was before they got to the tournament here. He was struggling, if you want to call it that, to find his groove at the dish. 3 hits in that first game over New Market. So if he can stay hot and be a catalyst here, that'll be a huge factor for the LoGators. He has worked the count to 2-2, hanging in there against Dickmeyer. And Riola golfs that one to left. It's got a chance to get out, and it's gone! Sam Riola, welcome to the nightcap here in Waconia. A solo shot to get us underway. And the LoGators stay hot. Strong crowd here for Champlin. Riola golfs that one out to left. He also tied for the team lead in home runs this season. As a team, Champlin set the team home run record this year. Just a tremendous year for Champlin. And Riola, I mentioned, he came into the game earlier batting just .214, really struggling, but then 3 hits against Newmarket, and he leads things off with a solo jack here in the top of the first inning of the nightcap. Lions field in Waconia as Dickmeyer quickly takes care of Josh Pooter. So we're going to get you the lineup now since I'm behind on our setup. So Ethan Mackey bats third in the order. Then it's Jeff Hoyer, Ryan Bruns, Levi Brenning, Bryce Nelson, Reed Conley, Derek Heldman. That is your lineup for Champlin as we'll work our way through it here. And Ethan, 400 hitter coming into the game against Newmarket. He hit that huge solo home run, speaking of solo shots, in that 1-0 win over Hampton. The only run in that game off the bat of the all-MIAC catcher. Catcher at Gustavus as Mackey goes down swinging, and Jake Dickmeyer, also a former all-MIAC, second all-time in wins and innings pitched at St. John's. So the former St. John's star, Woodbury native, unfazed early here by that solo home run from Riola, and announced Jeff Hoyer the DH here tonight. Jeff started in right field as he hammers it toward right center. This one might have a chance. It bounces off the wall. Hoyer on his horse. He'll go into second with a stand-up double. So when the Gators are making contact here in the first inning, they're getting some lift on the ball against Dickmeyer. A 2-out double. And now it's Ryan Bruns, the third baseman, coming up. By the way, Hoyer is DHing for Josh Peterson, who is playing out in right field today. So Bruns was active in game one, reached on an error in the second inning against Newmarket, and then scurried all the way from first. He scored on a double. Double by Levi Brenning, who's on deck. And Brunsy showing off. You can see the dirt stains on the uniform getting dirty. So he dove home just ahead of the play. Not known for his speed, but heady base running there. He's down 0-1 to Dickmeyer. That one's inside. He fists it toward third. Max Morris is over there. Foul ball, 0-2 the count. So Bruns made that happen. He later singled in the game, was pinch run for, and then that runner, Erlab, eventually came around to score. So Bruns impactful. The veteran, again, the longest tenured Gator in the lineup. And down 0-2, fists that one toward first. Ronnie Sweeney, smooth and coming over to make that play. So Dickmeyer works his way out of it, but not before Sam Riola leads off with a home run. It's Champlin 1, Miesville nothing. Live, State Amateur Baseball on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Nobody does high school sports like PrepSpotlight.tv. Your home for Minnesota State tournament action is also where you can find the best weekly action during the regular season in 2021. We make it easy to be a high school sports fan at PrepSpotlight.tv.
Into the early evening here in Waconia, Lions Field. And it's 1-0 Champlin off the bat of Sam Riola. Sam led off the game with a solo home run, was actually down in the count to Jake Dickmeyer. Riola, by the way, playing second base here tonight. He pitched the team to all 9 innings, complete game victory over Newmarket to get them into this contest against Miesville. The mighty Mudhens. Champlin does have history against Miesville. The Mudhens have taken them out twice in the tournament. since 2013. So they would love to perhaps slay the Giants and take another shot at Chanhassen tomorrow. Long way to go, obviously. We'll get to the lineup here in a second. First, it is Levi Brenning pitching. Levi has yet to make an appearance in the state tournament, but his numbers this season, he's pitched in 10 games, started 10. 1-2 record, 36 2/3 innings pitched, and just 7 earned runs. So had a good season, and he gets the call here. Obviously, Rayola's not available. We've seen Jeff Gooley pitch, Charlie Hutchinson, another nice lefty out of the bullpen. So we'll see how Matt Merrick, the manager for the LoGators, decides to play it here, and he will face a lineup of Miesville that we've seen throughout the tournament, and they have produced. Max Gamm will lead it off. Joey Werner then comes up. Then it's Matt Vanderbosch, the DH tonight, and the player manager in the 4th spot, Austin Ledoux. Then Nate Hammis, the hammer. Jake Smith at the 6th spot. Ronnie Sweeney batting 7th. Brian Sprout, the veteran, 41-year-old, the 8th spot in the lineup. And Max Morris, the smooth 3rd baseman, brings it up in the 9th spot. That's your lineup for Miesville. And we lead things off with Max Gamm, shortstop. And the first pitch swinging to Bruns at 3rd. Up with it, throw over to Conley. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Levi Brenning. Now it's Joey Werner, Hastings native. And Joey Werner, you want to talk about a guy to have in your lineup in the state tournament. Werner coming off a tremendous season at Minnesota State Mankato. The NSIC Player of the Year, batted .439 for the Mavs. That was 10th best in the nation in D2. And here he is in the lineup for Miesville, trying to help them get into that championship round tomorrow. We're going to try to bunt his way on here. So Werner just trying to get on any way he can here. We'll have the updated numbers on the stats coming into this game. So Werner, as mentioned, a great year in D2 as he swings away here. 0-2 count against Levi, but he's batting .250 coming into this contest. He is impactful, though. 4 RBIs from his spot in the lineup. Batting in the 2-hole here. Down 0-2 here to Levi Brenning. Levi spins one in there. Werner was all over it, hammers it to right. But standing out there and easily making the play. So 2 outs. And that'll bring up Vanderbosch. We'll go back to the lineup here to get the defense straightened out. That's right, Peterson out there in right field. So Peterson making that catch. 2 down for Vanderbosch. Again, the player coach DHing. Vanderbosch, 2 hits against Chanhassen last night, an RBI. And a tremendous year. Another veteran, Matt, in the lineup, and a Hastings native. 1999 Minnesota State Tournament Player of the Year, leading the Raiders to the state title. Former Red Sox organizational minor league player of the year back in the day after a great career at Oral Roberts. Good baseball man. And a 1-1 count, swings through it. 1-2. Matt batting .286 for the tournament. 3 RBI for him. So 1-2 the count, 2 outs. Levi Brenning trying to work his way through Miesville in the bottom of the first. Grounded to second. Rayola up with it. Throw to Conley. 1-2-3 inning for Levi and the Gators as they hold down a 1-0 lead after 1.
Celebrate the end of the 2021 Town Ball season. Join your teammates, rivals, and ball fans from around the state at the Twins game on September 11th. Special ticket pricing for Town Ball players and fans. Salutes to the newly crowned champs and a very fun night at the ballpark. Order your tickets at twinsbaseball.com/townball and wear your town's team colors to Target Field on September 11th.
Champlin LoGators with a 1-0 lead over the mighty Miesville Mudhens. We mentioned these two have played twice in the tournament, and that includes last year. Miesville took out Champlin 5-2 in the second round. Prior to that, they met in 2017. A first-round matchup. Miesville, a 7-1 victory, went on to win the title that year. This is the seventh straight trip to the trip to the state tournament, and they won it back-to-back in 16, as mentioned, in 17. 7 titles overall, 32nd appearance in the Big Dance. A powerhouse they are, and they, through the first 3 rounds, and even about midway through that game last night, looked like they were ready to, they're here to dethrone the Birds, but Chanhassen, as they always do, they do not flinch, were able to pull it out, and now it's the Mudhens trying to battle back through the losers bracket and earn another matchup tomorrow against Chanhassen in hopes of forcing the, if necessary, Monday afternoon final. Be the winner taking the tournament if we're in that situation. 0-2 quickly now. Jacob Dickmeyer. Jake works quick, and he's facing Levi Brenning here. Starting pitcher tonight for Champlin. They seem to be on the off speed early as far as making contact. Brenning a harmless fly ball to left field. That'll bring up Bryce Nelson. Bryce doing a nice job as usual from the shortstop spot. Works the count to 1-1. Flies that one toward the right side. Ronnie Sweeney doing a good job keeping his eye on the ball. He had Nelson bearing down on him on the baseline, but Sweeney playing it smooth over there. Dickmeyer, 2 quick outs here. And that'll bring up Reed Conley, the first baseman. Had a sacrifice fly RBI in the first game. Down quickly 0-1 to Dickmeyer. Conley came into the earlier game batting .333 in the tournament. So getting it done from that spot in the lineup. The number 8 spot here today is good chase over to the dugout. The hammer, Hammis, makes a good effort. But it's out of play, 0-2 the count. Mentioned Levi Brenning pitching for Champlin, and that making his first appearance. So well rested, obviously. The 5th pitcher to make an appearance in the tournament now for Champlin. So far, Miesville's only used 3 pitchers to date in the tournament. So pretty remarkable. Speaks more to what Dickmeyer and Aaron have been able to do in this tourney. You wonder at this point if you're Miesville. So Dickmeyer going here tonight. Last night it was Aaron trying to piece something together if they were to move on and to have to take on Chanhassen again. But that's a discussion for a different time, as Conley has now worked the count full on Dickmeyer. Jake working quickly, and it's a walk to Reed. So 1 on and 2 out, and Derek Heldman. Derek Heldman ended up getting into the game, didn't start against Newmarket. They made a couple defensive switches, and Derek was 0 for 2 in that game. The light hitting number 9 hitter. Matt Merrick says the fastest guy in the Metro Mini. See him play some great left field out there as well. Made a great catch last weekend. 1-0 count from Dickmeyer, swung on, and that goes off a Hammis. Umpire's going to walk out to the mound, rub down the ball, chat with Jake, give the hammer a little breather here. But Derek has done well. Mentioned it last game, but he's done well from his spot in the lineup. Figure batting 9th. Came into today batting .286. 2 hits and 7 at-bats. Not bad production from the 9 spot. He watches strike 2, 1-2 the count. Manager Matt Merrick for Champlin has the jacket as he coaches third now. He caught last game. So Matt into the lineup for the first time in tournament play. Runner goes, swung on, chopped toward third. Morris is over there. He's good. Great arm. Makes it look easy. Out number 3. We head to the bottom of the second. From Lions Field in Waconia, it's still 1-0 Champlin.
All summer long, you have gathered with friends, neighbors, and family at ball yards all across Minnesota.
Still going, gone! A home run!
Diamonds that decorate and help define hundreds of communities. Town Ball binds together our passion for baseball in our hometowns. And on September 11th, the cornerstone of Minnesota baseball, Target Field, will host a party for all those who play, watch, and support Town Ball. The Twins host the Royals at 6:10 p.m. Prior to the game, the newly crowned state amateur champs will be honored at the Town Ball Tavern and during a pregame ceremony. Wear your team colors and enjoy a special night at Target Field.
The 0-2 pitch. Strike 3! Fairmont, state champions in 2020.
Congratulations to the Fairmont Martins. They are your 2020.
For tickets to the Twins' Tip of the Cap to Town Ball on September 11th, visit twinsbaseball.com/townball.
Good crowd on hand here in Waconia for our nightcapper, the 4th contest here today. 2 Class C matchups before us in the Class B bracket. As we move on to the bottom of the second inning, it'll be Austin Ledoux, then Nate Hammis and Jake Smith due up for Miesville against Levi Brenning. Brenning cruised through the first inning, making his first appearance in the state tournament. And strike 1, the call to Austin Ledoux. Coming in to this contest, Austin batting .357 in the tournament. So Austin having a nice run here to the B bracket. He's down 0-1 to Brenning. He wants to try to bunt his way on. That's going to have to be a tough play for Brunzi. Makes the barehanded throw, but comes up short. So Ledoux with the bunt single. How do you like that? First hit of the game for Miesville. That'll bring up Nate Hammis. Hammis batting .333 in the tournament, with 7 RBI. So he has been productive. And a runner on with nobody out. They force Brenning out of the stretch for the first time, and he's thinking bunt. Strike 1. Nice pitch over the outside corner. A little movement there from Levi. Levi, another former college player, played a couple different places in Illinois. Finding his way to Champlin. And the Champlin Park contingent getting a little feisty here. Number one, they really want this one. And number two, they've been here now. Seen 11 innings of ball, and they're ready to go. They wanted that call. 1-2 the count. Brennan goes back to the outside corner again, and he gets it. Hamas can't believe it. Called strike 3. Brennan is sharp early. His first strikeout of the contest. And that'll be Jake Smith's turn. Is that Jake Smith's turn? It's probably the proper way to say that. Jake batting .267 coming into this contest. 4 hits and an RBI. Has struck out 3 times. And now it's the other corner for Levi. Brennan part of this roster makeup, which we will talk about as the game goes on. Champlin Park with just 2 Champlin Park graduates on the roster. Back to the inside corner, so Brennan has it working here in the early innings. 0-2 is the count. Miesville contending now with the strike zone. Oh, quick play over to first. Quick feet there by Levi. Swung on and driven high to left. Camping under it is Heldman. Gets the ball in quickly, so 2 outs and 1 on now. And it'll be Ronnie Sweeney's turn. So Ronnie still looking for a couple more hits. He's batting .167, but impactful. 3 RBI from his spot in the lineup. He had 2 doubles. So he's made him count when he has gotten hits, has struck out 5 times. So susceptible to the strikeout for sure. Ronnie playing some nice first base here in the early innings. Good looking defensive player. Takes strike 1, 1-1 the count, 2 outs, 1 on. Miesville having to turn around, come here to Waconia after last night's hard-fought defeat in the hands of their rivals, the Chanhassen Redbirds. Trying to regroup and push their way past the Champlin LoGators. They've already got a victory in the bag earlier today. Brennan up in the count now, 1-2. He rips that one down the right side, so makes good contact. Was way in on him, though. Very compact swing. Foul ball. 1-2 remains the count. Now spoils it to the other side, staying alive. One-two pitch again. And again, he stays alive. Great spot. Host this tournament here in Waconia, along with Chaska and Hamburg. We spent first 2 weekends out in Hamburg. Great hosts out there, the Hawks, in their beautiful ballpark. Pitch is high, 2-2 the count. Again, winner moves to Chaska tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow night under the lights. Down by the river against Chanhassen. 2-2 count. Swung on and missed. Brennan's locked in early. And through two, Champlin holding down that 1-0 lead.
The Town Ball Tour. Head to the small towns and tell people what it's all about.
A lot of excitement. Weather is fantastic.
This place has been here since the early 80s.
This is a baseball town.
The town is here. The kids are here. It's safe. It's a wonderful environment.
We certainly met some wonderful characters.
Thanks for joining us for another season of Fox 9's Town Ball Tour.
The Geese are on the move. Overhead here in Waconia. The sun setting on our Saturday night action here in the Class B bracket. Good crowd on hand. Miesville in Champlin Park. And it's the LoGators striking early. We expect runs to be at a premium as they usually are. And the first run coming from the leadoff hitter, Sam Riola. Mentioned Sam. He, along with Jeff Hoyer, led the team with 5 home runs this year, 60 hits. Single season mark for Champlin. But from an average standpoint, it struggled a bit coming into this round. And then last game against Newmarket, seems like he unlocked it with 3 hits. And he definitely unlocked it, jacking his first home run of the tournament against Dickmeyer his last time up. And here he is in the top of the 3rd inning. Another opportunity against Jake. He'll lead us off. Riola takes ball 1. Mentioned Sam, the Division I player, on the move again. He'll be at St. Cloud State, it sounds like, next year. Last year played at Louisiana Lafayette. Swings through that pitch, 1-1 the count. Prior to that, played at Bethel. And then community college in Iowa out of Blaine High School. And the Division I baseball player that played shortstop and pitched last year in D1. Very talented young player. Fouls that one back, 1-2. So he was down in the count to Dickmeyer his first time up. Battled back before jacking out the solo home run. And despite his early struggles in this tournament at the dish, he's been lights out on the mound. He's got 2 complete game victories in this tournament as a pitcher. And he seems to always be in the middle of something. As Dickmeyer gets the outside corner here. Riola doesn't like it. Called 3rd strike, 1 out. Jake is going to continue to go there. That's what he does. Works quickly and tries to find his spots. Jack Pooter. Left-handed hitting center fielder. Good player. Duluth Bulldog. He's down 0-1 to the count. Josh struck out his first time up. That one out of play, so it's 0-2 quickly. Good hang that time. Count remains 0-2. So, mentioned Dickmeyer, this is actually his 3rd start in the tournament. He's been really good. As Pooter gets into that one to right, it's up to the edge of the warning track and eventually tracked down out there. Good play getting underneath it from Warner. So a loud out number 2. And that'll be, bring up Ethan Mackey, who struck out his first time. And Ethan, the leading hitter in this lineup, coming into the game against Newmarket as the fielders on the left side shift over. Pull hitter. That home run in that first round against Hampton. That one swung on and driven out of play. 1-1 the count. So Dick Meyer, he's 1-0 in the tournament. His ERA is 0.77. He's been great. I mentioned he started that game against Chaska. Didn't get the decision as it was delayed due to rain. And when it resumed on Sunday, he wasn't on the mound. That was Riley Ahern who took over. Maki rips a single to center. Third hit of the contest for Champlin. They've had a base runner in every inning now. And now it's Jeff Hoyer. Hoyer rocked one deep off the wall his first time up for a double. So Dick Meyer, 7 2/3 innings pitched versus Newmarket last weekend. As he goes out to right again, looks like Warner's got a beat on it. It's got to get over, and he catches it in foul territory. Now Dick Meyer again works his way out of it. And we move quickly to the bottom of the third. I'll leave you with some of our town ball highlights from the last couple days here on PrepSpotlight.tv. Enjoy. We'll be back with the bottom of the third right after this.
Highlight gets and looked it out to right field, going back towards the wall. This could have a chance, and it's gonna be gone. A 2-run blast off the bat of Jake Hendricks in the top of the fourth makes it 2-0. Over to the mini-net, Jordan launched out to left field. That's a no-doubter. Make it 9 runs on the night.
Total gain tomorrow. This one, line to center, diving, the shortstop, and making the catch. Crack to third, runner comes home, they'll go home with the throw, and the ball can't be caught on the hop.
As he fires, the run kicks off for second base. A line shot over to the first baseman. Hoffman puts that away, steps on first for a double play. One now from Sjogren and on relief, and that will hit the foot of the batter, so a hit by pitch will bring in the third run of the inning and third run of the ball game here, as Chan Hassan, with only one hit on the inning now, has scored 3 runs.
Highlights of that game last night out in Hamburg, dropping Miesville into the losers bracket. The game they led early on. And then you saw that run that was walked in to make it 3-1. Eventually, Chan Hassan holds on for that 3-2 victory. So Chan now waits the winner of this contest. As we move to the bottom of the third inning, the LoGators with a 1-0 lead off the Sam Riola leadoff home run. Levi Brenning has been solid here through 2, surrendering just 1 hit. And now it's Brian Sprout, 41-year-old veteran, coming to the plate. Lake City High School graduate. Great town, Lake City. Great athletes come out of that town. Brian moved over to St. Olaf, where his number has since been retired. Played professionally, among other places, in the Dodgers organization. And Eastridge head baseball coach, and now here he is mixing it up in the tournament, and he's had a pretty good tourney. 1-2 pitch, high fly on the infield. Sam Riola takes over. That one was coming down fast. Sam got over there, called off Reed Conley. They bring up the number 9 hitter, Max Morris. Max, 9 hitter, plays third, but he's been good in this tournament as well. 400, batting 400 coming in. That actually leads the team. So think about that. Your number 9 hitter, leading your team in average. He's also a tremendous defensive player. Morris, speaking of Eastridge, the Eastridge High School product. St. Thomas. Part of the 2019 Eastridge High School Baseball Championship. And 2 on the count as he faces Levi Brenning here. That one skied high again. Another opportunity for Riola. Doesn't have to go quite as far this time. Makes another grab, and there's 2 outs. Turns the lineup back over to Max Gam. So Max Morris followed by Max Gam, and Max grounded out to third his first time up. Gam, another former Eastridge star. So both Maxes from Eastridge, by the way. These two destined to be connected, it sounds like. Eastridge playing that left side of the infield. We're now fully under the lights here in Waconia. Brenning misses with the first 2 pitches to the Miesville leadoff batter. And strike 1. So Cam coming into today, batting .263 in the tournament. Strike 2. Brenning blows that one past him. 2-2 the count. Another one skied to the right side, and Riola's calling everybody off. He wants all 3 putouts in the inning, and he gets them. 3 F4s, and we're through 3. And Waconia, 1-0. LoGators holding down the early advantage over the Mudhens. We'll be back right after this.
Nobody does high school sports like PrepSpotlight.tv. Your home for Minnesota State tournament action is also where you can find the best weekly action during the regular season in 2021. We make it easy to be a high school sports fan at PrepSpotlight.tv.
One of the best spots to watch town ball is Lions Field here in Waconia. Miesville, as they always do, bringing in the fans. Take on the Champlin LoGators here. We're through 3 innings, moving quickly on our nightcap. Final elimination game of the day. Champlin taking out Newmarket 4-2 in our first game. Now taking on the mighty Mudhens. Stake to an early lead. The Sam Riola solo home run. So Jake Dickmeyer back out. He'll face Ryan Bruns, Levi Brenning, and Bryce Nelson. 2 up for the LoGators. So Bruns, as we mentioned, had a good first game, scoring that first run of the contest. He did fly out his first time up here. And Dickmeyer goes right to work on him, 0-1 the count. Jim Bruns, the longest tenured LoGator, joined the team in 2007. Team established in 2006. As he squibs that one back toward Dickmeyer. Tough spin on it. Jake handles it easily. 1 up, 1 out. But Nick Larson, the original LoGator, he's still on the roster here today on the bench. He's gotten some action here in the state tournament. And Bruns, the longest tenured everyday player, is out. Leads to Levi Brenning coming to the plate. So Levi, he was 0 for 1 today, but a walk, a single, and a run scored against Newmarket. So active in the lineup for the LoGators. Takes strike 1 from Dickmeyer. Pitch 2 is high, 1-1. You can see Jake does not mess around. He might be the quickest worker in the tournament. And there is Hammes taking another one. That's 2 early ones for Hammes. This one looks like it caught him maybe in the right shoulder. The veteran catcher gets a little extra time from the home plate umpire here. And the ump going to talk it over with him, make sure he's good to go. So 1-2 the count to Brenning. Dickmeyer strikes him out. Levi knew it. It's now 4 strikeouts for Dickmeyer. So he's locked in. Bryce Nelson now up. Bryce flew out to the first baseman his first time up. One the count. Oh, good pitch there, but it's high, 2-1. Ooh, Matt Merrick showing off the moves at third, then firing it back to Dickmeyer. So Matt, cat-like quickness over there, the player manager. Not in the lineup here tonight, but clearly staying fresh down there. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. To the right side, and Sweeney does not have a play. It is foul, 2-2, remains the count. So state tourney history for Champlin. We mentioned they've lost to Miesville twice. Come back to 2013 when they made the tourney. They had super sections, lost twice there, then lost to the Moorhead Brewers in the first round, then mentioned Miesville in 17, lost in the first round at Northfield in 18, then Chan in 19, another state champion that they lost to, as Dickmeyer takes care of Nelson, another strikeout, and through 3.5. It's 1-0 Gators.
Celebrate the end of the 2021 Town Ball season. Join your teammates, rivals, and ball fans from around the state at the Twins game on September 11th. Special ticket pricing for Town Ball players and fans. Salutes to the newly crowned champs and a very fun night at the ballpark. Order your tickets at twinsbaseball.com/townball and wear your town's team colors to Target Field on September 11th.
Samriola warming up in the field. Once again in the middle of things. He pitched 9 complete innings, had 3 hits in the Game 1 victory over Newmarket. Led off this game with a solo home run in last inning. Had all 3 putouts, 3 flyouts to him over by his second base position. Levi Brenning looking good here. He's held Miesville to just 1 hit so far, his first time through the order. And you got to think for Champlin to get on to the championship round, they would need something like what Levi has brewing right here. This is our first time seeing Brenning in the tournament. Started 10 games this year, so plenty of work on the mound. But saving his arm till it's all arms on deck here. Trying to survive and move on to Championship Sunday. 4th inning, bottom of the 4th for Miesville. It'll be Joey Warner, followed by Vanderbosch and Ledoux. Warner flew out his first time up. 2-1 the count on Warner. Right fielder for Miesville. That could be the first hit of the game, or second hit rather, for Miesville, and it is. He dumps it into left. Coming over is Heldman, showing off some of that speed before it can get into the gap. So a leadoff single for the Mudhens. And we'll see if that can get them moving here on the base pass as Vanderbosch comes up. And Matt, tremendous year for him at the plate. A good game last night against Chanhassen. We'll see what he decides to do. Ryan Bruns is in on from third base. Expecting perhaps a bunt coming up. And the veteran player manager shows bunt, pulls back, 1-0 the count. Runner goes. Bunt is another take. A bunt attempt is pulled back, I should say. So 2-0 the count. But it's Warner taking second on the stolen base. So now you've got a 2-0 count. And Vanderbosch can swing away here and see if he can knock in another RBI. Nobody out in the inning. Maki wants to talk things over with Brenning. This Miesville lineup still really potent, despite the fact they're playing without Derek Marks. Marks, one of their star players. Former manager of the Hastings Hawks, by the way. Speaking of the Hastings connection on this team, but Derek was talking to Matt prior to their game last week. He said Derek's out with a torn quad. Vanderbosch kind of golfs that one. Maki looks for it, but it's out of play. 2-1 the count. No, that Maki still hasn't seen it. He's looking around. He asked, where'd that thing go out? Vanderbosch tells him it went that way. So 2-1. Brenning, pressure situation here for the first time. With nobody out and a runner on second, and Warner can be a pest out there as well as he goes again. And it's knocked through the right side. That'll score Warner, and we're going to be tied at 1. Perfectly executed as Warner was off and running. The infield drawn in a bit. It got by Connolly at first. And yet another RBI single for Vanderbosch. Coming through in the clutch, and it's a new game, 1-1, still nobody out. And now it's Austin Ledoux. A bunt single his first time up, takes a huge cut there. 0-1. Remember the Mudhens made a solid run last year, won their first 2 games, then knocked out by Chanhassen and Moorhead. Let me see, winning their 3rd game of the tournament last week over Newmarket, getting them to this spot. 0-2 count quickly on Ledoux. Three pitches and the strikeout. Much needed out if you're Levi Brenning. 1 out now. And that'll bring up Nate Hammis, who struck out in the 2nd inning. Hammis, former St. Cloud State Husky, also a St. Paul Saints catcher. Well, former Saints out there on these rosters back when they were an independent team. And Branning starts him off with a strike. Slapped over the mound. Going to be a tough play here. Who's going to make it? And is it a double play? It is. Bryce Nelson. Wow. That one took forever to get there, but he was on the bag as he picked up the ball, then makes a strong throw and a huge double play. Through 4. 1-1. We're tied up in Waconia.
All summer long, you have gathered with friends, neighbors, and family at ball yards all across Minnesota.
Still going, gone! A home run!
Diamonds that decorate and help define hundreds of communities. Town Ball binds together our passion for baseball in our hometowns. And on September 11th, the cornerstone of Minnesota baseball, Target Field, will host a party for all those who play, watch, and support Town Ball. The Twins host the Royals at 6:10 p.m. Prior to the game, the newly crowned state amateur champs will be honored at the Town Ball Tavern and during a pregame ceremony. Wear your team colors and enjoy a special night at Target Field.
The 0-2 pitch. Strike three! Fairmont, state champions in 2020. Congratulations to the Fairmont Martins. They are your 2020.
For tickets to the Twins' Tip of the Cap to Town Ball on September 11th, visit twinsbaseball.com/townball.
Take a look. The bullpen of the Champlin LoGators had a 1-0 lead early in this contest. Miesville battled back. They manufacture a run in the bottom of the fourth inning. It was a leadoff single from Joey Warner, then stole second and scored on the Matt Vanderbosch RBI single. Reed Conley leading us off in the top of the fifth, facing Jake Dickmeyer. Conley coaxed a walk his last time up. Two and one the count on Conley. Showing a lot of patience up there against Dickmeyer. And it's now 3-1. So Conley says, you've got to come get me for his walk. His first time up. Now works the count to 3-1. And the inside pitch taken for a strike, 3-2. Outside, Conley has 2 walks in this game. And this one, the leadoff variety. We'll see if they decide to make a move for the pinch runner. They will. So Champlin obviously not messing around. Conley's a pretty crafty base runner, but going for the speed here. And Aaron Erlab comes in to run. Aaron ran for Ryan Bruns in the first game and then later came around to score. That was after Brunsy singled. It's part of that 3-run inning. Move on over Newmarket. Nice bunt here from Heldman, but it's foul. Now they're going to call him out. And Merrick comes out to argue right away. Merrick is not happy about this, so I assume the call is interference. An interference call. Merrick is still going after him here. So back to first goes Reed Connolly on the interference, and I believe that's the second time in this tournament we've seen that call. Runner bunting. I don't know if he, that's my assumption as to what the call is, an interference call. But it was clearly foul anyway. And now it's Sam Riola. First pitch is high to Sam. So going back to it, Sam led off the game with a solo home run, showing off that power that had been advertised coming into the tournament. He's hot after the 3-hit game in Game 1 earlier here today. He did strike out his last time up. And now with a runner on, and we've got a new game, 1-1 the score. Dickmeyer coming right after him here, 1-1 the count. Throw over to check on the runner. And they go to the outside corner, and that's what Riola struck out looking on that outside pitch earlier. He'll voice his displeasure with umping in this contest. But it's 1-2 now the count. And they're going to set up way outside, try to make him go for it. And they actually comes across the plate, swung on, and it was foul tipped into Hammis's glove. So Riola is down on strikes for the second time. And there's now 2 outs in the inning for Josh Puder. Josh struck out in the first, flew out in the third. Another guy that, if he can get on locked here, on track, this offense. Good hack there, 0-1 the count. Outside corner, and it's there for the left-handed batter as well. Quickly 0-2 on Puder. A little frustration in this inning for Champlin. We had some frustration in last night's game in Hamburg as well. Emotions can run high here in these tournament games. No pressure on. Now 0-2 the count. 2 outs. Dickmeyer to Puder toward the second base side. Sprout runs it down. The spry 41-year-old makes the play, and Dickmeyer works around the leadoff walk. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning, and it's a 1-1 game here at Lions Field, in Waconia. We'll be back after this.
The Town Ball Tour. Head to the small towns and tell people what it's all about.
A lot of excitement. Weather is fantastic.
This place has been here since the early 80s.
This is a baseball town.
The town is here. The kids are here. It's safe. It's a wonderful environment. We certainly met some wonderful characters.
Thanks for joining us for another season of Fox 9's Town Ball Tour.
Good crowd on hand. Lions Field in Waconia. And as we move through that half inning there, as we move to the bottom of the 5th, Matt Merrick still giving an earful to the home plate umpire, not happy with what we assume is an interference. Maybe they're saying with Heldman bunting that the ball hit him as he was leaving the box. That's probably what the call was. But Matt Merrick not happy with that call. So Levi Brenning back out for another inning of work, and it'll be Jake Smith followed by Ronnie Sweeney and Brian Sprout. Jake Smith to lead us off. Jake flew out in the second inning. Jake, the Apple Valley native, played at St. Thomas, as many Miesville players, past and present, have. Connection there, Vanderbosch. Coach St. Thomas. And Brenning nibbling on the outside, gets the call there, 1-1 the count. So the outside corners are open for business as we speak. Swung on and missed, 1-2. Great spot they put us in here. I think everybody here in Waconia taking good care of us here. Big shout out to Eric Olson, the press box manager. Also ran down and grabbed a brat in between games for me here. That's hospitality if I've ever seen it. Took care of us last couple weekends out in Hamburg as well. Big thanks to the crew out there. Very welcoming to our broadcast on PrepSpotlight.tv. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed. So Levi had to work for it, but comes around and gets the strikeout. One down now for Ronnie Sweeney. Sweeney struck out his first time up. By the way, that's 4 strikeouts now for Levi. And this time doesn't get the call on the outside, 1-0. Right back to it. And it's strike one, 1-1. Mentioned Brenning from Illinois. And when you look at the roster makeup of this team for Champlin, just 2 Champlin Park graduates on the roster. As it's 1-2 the count now. Pitch coming in from Brenning. Pitch is high, 2-2. With 10 Blaine graduates on Champlin's roster, 7 from Coon Rapids. A lot of baseball talent in the North Metro. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and skied toward left. Watch Heldman go for it out there. Good speed, but could not get to that one. A lot of space to work with. So Heldman licking his chops, being able to run after that one. Lost his hat in the process, but could not get to that ball, so Sweeney stays alive, 2-2 the count. 1 out. That one now sky to the right side. Riola is going to give that one chase, telling everybody to get out of the way, and he actually, I think, overran the ball a bit. So Riola was just trying to get over there, and Sweeney has another life in this at-bat. Well, how about that? Riola actually got there. Called Conley off, as he usually does. That's the thing about Riola. He loves to be in the middle of it all, making every play that he can. But I think he just overran that one a little bit. So 2-2 is still the count here. As this at-bat continues for Sweeney. And he stays alive again. But the roster makeup of Champlin, the reason there's so few Champlin players is when they had a youth movement back in 2015, there was no one available out of the Brooklyn Park area. And a great at-bat for Sweeney as he is given another life and then comes back and singles into center field. So Miesville now with 4 hits in the game, 1 out, 1 on for Brian Sprout. But the Brooklyn Park youngsters actually played for Brooklyn Park's team at the time, the Norsemen, and then eventually folded. But in the meantime, Champlin had to fill out their roster, so they went out and got a couple of Blaine kids, and then that led to more and more. And that's your The majority of your roster coming from Blaine and Coon Rapids. So Miesville trying to put together a one-out rally here. Brian Sprout, runner goes. It's going to be an 0-2 count on Sprout. Throw down. Goes into the runner a bit. Riola was kind of behind the play anyway. So Sweeney takes second. Saw Miesville get aggressive in the fourth inning on the bases. Eventually leading to a run, but now it's 0-2 on Sprout. Whoa, that one, Sprout didn't even move, and that thing curved around him. And Brian has played a lot of baseball games, so unfazed. Kind of a chuckle from him. 1-2 the count. Somehow didn't hit him. Running back in the zone this time. It's sprayed to the right side. Now it's just Conley by himself over there. He easily tracks it down. Good job by Reed, turning quickly to hold Sweeney at second. And there's 2 outs now for the number 9 hitter, Max Morris. Max flew out his first time up. But we mentioned Max, the leading hitter on this team coming in. So don't let the number 9 spot in the lineup fool you. It's a tough hitter here and a runner in scoring position, 2 out. Comes way inside again, and again nearly hits the hitter, but avoids the damage, and it's a 1-0 count. And that's what he was trying to do. Hits the inside corner, 1-1 the count. To the right side. Running has worked his way back ahead of in this at bat, 1-2. Good job by Maki to smother that one as Brian tries to get him to chase. 2-2. Just a bit high. Count is full. So Max Morris working here. We've got Max Gam on deck. As Miesville's just trying to chip away here. This talented LoGator squad. 3-2 pitch. Back in there, and again, off to the right side. Good hang from Morris. Runner goes, and it's strike 3 called. Brenning works his way out of the jam. The game remains locked up at 1 apiece. So as they give us a refresh out on the field, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break here and honor the memory of a great, great friend of Minnesota baseball. Former deceased MBA President Fred Roofs. So we'll step away, honor our great friend Fred, and be back with more baseball after this.
The Minnesota baseball community lost a dear friend, a great leader last winter when Minnesota Baseball Association President Fred Roofs passed away at age 73. He served on the board of directors for more than a quarter century. In his first year as president, his leadership was instrumental in guiding the state amateur world through the COVID crisis. With the help of his board and the communities of Milroy, Springfield, and Shakopee, a very successful state tournament was completed on schedule without loss of a game and with fans in the stands. In his memory, the MBA started the Fred Roofs Golf Tournament this year. raising thousands of dollars for a scholarship that will provide a path to college for local student athletes. Fred was born in St. Peter, graduated from LeSueur, and went to college at Mankato State. In his professional life, he made huge contributions to the communities around Mankato and Marshall. But in the end, Fred Roof's legacy is felt in every town in Minnesota where baseball is played.
You're treated to more great baseball here in the Class B bracket. Good one between Miesville and Champlin Park. Winner's season is over, or the loser's season is over. The winner moves on, take on Chanhassen tomorrow in the championship. So let's recap how we got here. Top of the first, leadoff home run from Sam Riola, and a 1-0 lead for Champlin. Stayed that way until the bottom of the fourth. Joey Warner single, still second, then scored on the Matt Vanderbosch RBI single. The two pitchers, Jake Dickmeyer for Miesville and Levi Brenning for Champlin Park, locked into a good one here. 7 total hits. Clean in the field right now. Don't want to jinx it at all, but no errors. Pretty solid defense all the way around. Ethan Mackey, the catcher. Gustavus Almayak, catcher. Will lead things off for Champlin. Takes ball one. Ethan struck out his first time up and singled in the third. Ethan was quiet in game one against Newmarket as well. Leading hitter in the LoGators lineup coming into tonight. So, he'd like to get on track here. Top of the 6th inning. Jake Dickmeyer continuing to work quickly for Miesville. Trying for that outside corner again. Likes it out there, but not this time. 2-1 the count. Two and two. Hockey. Oh, he saw that one the whole way, but swings through it. And it's 7 strikeouts now. 7 strikeouts for Dickmeyer. And Jeff Hoyer will come up. Remember, Jeff doubled way back in the first. That was after the Riola home run. Ended up stranded at second base. A couple loud hits in that first inning against Dickmeyer. Jake has been so stellar here in this tournament. But he's got another pitcher on the staff that has done a lot of the heavy lifting here. And Riley Ahern, who pitched last night. So Ahern presumably not available here. 1-2 count quickly on Hoyer. Well, he just kind of reaches out, knocks that one into center, and jumping and getting kind of a late start, but making up for it is Jake Smith. So tough read off the bat. Smith recovers nicely. Ryan Bruns comes up. Ryan 0 for 2 here today. He liked that one, rips it into left, but it will not get down, as reading it perfectly is Ledoux. A quick inning for Dickmeyer, and the score remains 1-1 with the Mudhens coming up to the plate.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget you can join the Minnesota Twins for their salute to top ball in Minnesota when the Twins host the Kansas City Royals on September 11th.
Hey folks, champions are crowned this weekend, and they will be saluted next Saturday night at Target Field. Visit twinsbaseball.com/townball to get details on the Twins salute to the 2021 amateur baseball season and enjoy a night at Target Field. Target Field, despite struggles of the Minnesota Twins this year, still one of the better places to watch baseball. Continue to get our crowd shots here in between innings. The now darkened grandstand in front of us. This place can get loud. The Class C tournament, always a party. Earlier, the final Class C game that we had here today, Watertown rallied for 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to take out Eagle Lake. And this place was so loud you could not hear yourself think. And the way it's built here, this grandstand really traps the sound. Place was packed. Crowd was going crazy. Watertown moving on to tomorrow to play. That Class C really gets condensed. Got to play a lot of baseball here if you make it through today. You're going to have 2 games tomorrow and then the championship on Monday if you're good enough to make your way through. There will be a new Class C champion this year, Fairmont, not in the tournament this year. And we will be on the broadcast tomorrow for both brackets once again. Winner of this contest plays Chanhassen tomorrow night. They'd have to beat the Redbirds tomorrow night to force the final on game on Monday afternoon in Chaska. The Redbirds not only trying for a 4-peat, which is unbelievable, but also trying to get through the bracket undefeated for back-to-back seasons. Levi Brenning out for another inning of work. He's been good here for Champlin, making his first appearance in the tournament. We got Max Gamm leading things off for Miesville. Max is 0 for 2 on the day. 1-1 the count. The bunt right at the dish, foul. Miesville in those clean white unis. We've got the white versus white unis here. The LoGators opting to stick with the white jerseys, as they seem to prefer. We did get to see the green alternates last week. Thought maybe we'd see those tonight, as the LoGators are the visitors in this contest, as they were earlier today against Newmarket. That one ripped into left. Lead-off single for Gamm. And now Joey Warner. Joey, probably the one guy bothers opposing pitching staffs the most when he gets on base. We saw that earlier. They got on with a single, stole second. Good quick move by Brenning. The runner goes. There's a bunt attempt for Werner. He pulls it back, and it gets past Maki. Joey he's yelling down to Gamm to tell him heads up, perhaps, in hopes that he could potentially take third, but this is what Miesville likes to do in trying to produce runs. Now got Gamm on second with nobody out, and a 1-0 count to a really good hitter in Werner. Crafty Matt Vanderbosch, who's already got an RBI single. He's on deck. And pitches outside. So 2-0 count now. And it's a 3-0 count. Miesville One of the dynasties in the tournament, along with their big rival Dundas. Noticeable that Dundas is not here in the tournament this year. They were beaten out by Miesville. Their best-of-3 series in regions. And Werner takes the 4-pitch walk. So now it's the Mudhens with a rally brewing here in the 6th. Matt Merrick wants to call time and talk it over. It'll be all hands on deck. Mound visit here. So getting an update on the Class C bracket going on right now in Chaska. Milroy and the New Ulm Brewers knotted at 3. As we are locked in one apiece here in the Class B bracket. But Class C, it's single limb all the way through. Talk about pressure-packed, win or go home every single game all the way through. Really leads to some interesting situations and matchups. As we do have a pitching change. So Branning is out. And we'll get our updated pitcher here for Champlin in just a second. Yeah, Jack Herring coming into pitch. And Branning will come in to play right field. So those are our defensive switches. So this is just Matt Merrick trying to limit his damage here as it's 2 out and 2 on. So Herring comes into a tough spot, bottom of the 6th inning. So it's 5 innings in the book, 5 good innings for Levi Branning, by the way. Giving up the 1 run and 5 hits. Struck out 4. And now Vander Bosch up again, another great opportunity for him. Snap throw by Maki trying to get Gam down at second, and it goes into center field. So Maki's throw bounced. And Riola could not track it down, and now Sam looks hurt out there as well. So that could be an issue on a lot of fronts here for Champlin if you lose your best player in the process. And that was Maki just trying to catch the runner Gam sleeping down there. And now Merrick's going to have to come out as Riola is trying to shake it off. He was chasing that ball into short right field. Hard to tell exactly what may have happened. But he tells Merrick to go back to the dugout, says he's okay. So a 1-0 count. Let's reset it here. Matt Vander Bosch at the dish. Runners on the corners. We've got nobody out as Miesville is trying to forge ahead here over Champlin Park. We've got Jack Herring, the new pitcher for Champlin, in the game. And now, I don't know what Maki saw there. I think he thought that Werner was going to run, which would not be surprising with Joey on the bases, but Werner didn't actually get too far off of first, so Maki threw it down anyway. It was the cut play with Riola coming in, trying to see if they could get Gam to come off third. He stays put. And now it's Vander Bosch fouling it away, so we have a 2-1 count. So perhaps Maki was just trying to bait Gam a bit there. Interesting innings shaping up here. Look, Champlin's played a lot of baseball here today. Everybody just trying to stay locked in. Herring pitches, runner goes, the throw down again, it skips. Good play by Riola. But Werner easily down to second. So again, Maki, his tough inning and throws down to second continues here. Mariola obviously not phased by that, apparent injury that he had minutes ago, as he made a nice play there. So now it's runners on second and third with nobody out. 2-2 count to Vanderbosch. He's able to hang in there, dropping the head of the bat on that one. Vanderbosch tries that left side again, and again foul. So it's still 2-2. That one skips by Maki. That'll lead to one run. Gam is in easy. Werner down to third. And the inning getting worse by the moment here for Champlin Park. Miesville now with a 2-1 lead. So 3-2 count now on Vanderbosch as well. Again, Matt just taking a great at bat here. And he goes to left side again. Three-two pitch. And that one gets through again. Vanderbosch, nearly identical RBI singles in this game. And Matt continues to produce. 3-1 Miesville. Still nobody out. Vanderbosch, what an at bat. He just hung in there, worked the count. 3-2. And again, that infield playing in because of the runner on third. It was almost identical. It was Warner on third last time as well. So he scored twice now on the Vanderbosch RBI singles, and it's ball one to Austin Ledoux. Austin, a bunt single back in the second, struck out in the fourth. And he loads up on that swing, 1-1. Herring, by the way, has pitched 4 innings in the tournament, does have a win. I believe it was the Victoria game where he was credited with that victory. Just 2 hits, surrendered in 4 innings before coming into here. Obviously had to clean up a bit of a mess. Still working on it here. It's now 3-1 to Austin Ledoux. Remember, nobody out in the inning yet. And now Merrick walking a pitcher down to the bullpen. He's got to keep the arms moving as that one is ripped to right. He's got a chance to land, but Levi Brenning, who started the game as a pitcher, playing some good right field out there. They just put him in. After the switch, put him out there and able to make the play there. So big out number 1. And Nate Hammis steps to the dish. Nate, he has struck out, get into a double play his last time up. Take strike 1 from Herring. Hammer fouls that one out of play. 0-2 the count. Oh, Hamas. A little indecisive, but able to check the swing. 1-2 the count. Strike 3 called. Now Herring is settling in. 2 outs in the inning, and it's up to Jake Smith to keep it moving for Miesville, who's got 2 runs already in this frame. First pitch swinging for Jake, out of play. Runner goes. Pitch taken for a ball. Easily taking second is Vanderbosch with no throw. So Matt on the move again. 1-1 pitch to Smith. Rips that one into right. Will it stay fair? Just foul. From this angle, that looked like the right call. Home plate umpire had the best look down the line. And Jake Smith scooting down to first like he thought maybe that one dropped in there. So 1-2, still the count here to Jake Smith. Herring trying to work out of it. Smith hangs again. So Miesville is taking good at bats here. Chipping away at this Champlin pitching staff. Levi Brenning with the first 5 innings. Relieved in this inning by Jack Herring, who inherited 2-on and nobody out mess. He's able to push both of those runners across. And now Herring trying to minimize the damage. 1-2 pitch. Swung on. And Maki could not hold on to it. So the foul tip stays alive. Again, the 1-2 pitch, and again hanging. So Smith. We'll take a timeout as they reload the umpire. Herring, a little break in the action to collect his breath, try to figure out how to get rid of Jake Smith here at the plate. Runner in scoring position. 2 out. Again, the 1-2 pitch. Chopped towards second. Riola takes the high bouncer. Flicks it over to Conley. And Champlin Park finally out of the jam, but 2 runs in the inning. And Miesville, through 6, has gained a 3-1 advantage over the Gators.
Years of service for our
Back to live action here in Lions Field in Waconia. And Levi Brenning leading off with a single as Champlin tries to climb out of a hole now, led it 1-0 early in this game. Miesville has chipped away, scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3 singles, including the RBI knock from Matt Vanderbosch in that frame. And they knocked Levi Brenning from the game. Levi now in right field. We saw him lead off here with a single. And this is the bottom part of the order now. Bryce Nelson up. Bryce has flown out and struck out in this game. And it's a 1-1 count. Jake Dickmeyer continuing to get it done here for Miesville. Giving up just 4 hits to this point. He has 7 strikeouts. We'll double check that number. So 1-1 count here. That one fisted toward second. Sprout drifting over the edge of the grass, makes the catch. So double checking the numbers, it is 7 strikeouts for Dick Myers. Reed Conley steps in. Reed has coaxed 2 walks now off of Dickmeyer, showing tremendous patience at the plate. So Dickmeyer comes right after him. First pitch fouled near the Miesville dugout. Hammis goes to his knees to make the catch. Tremendous defense on display here from Miesville. Nice job by Hammis, though. One of the toughest plays a catcher will ever have to make. Getting close to your own dugout over there. You have to worry about that, as well as track the ball. Matt Merrick walks up and talks to Hammis, but also making a pinch hit change here. It looked like he came up just to have a little conversation with Hammis. Matt likes to have a good time. He does this for all the right reasons. He wants to come here and win, but also just enjoys the game of baseball. As Dylan Wilson, pinch hit opportunity for him. And stepping in for Derek Heldman, the number 9 hitter and left fielder. So looking for a spark here is Merrick from Dylan. And it worked as Wilson dumps it into left. So we've got 2 on and 2 out now for Champlin. The second hit in the inning for the LoGators. Wilson, UMD, another Bulldog on this roster. Missed a huge chunk of the year midway through with a back injury, but obviously back and healthy. One of the top guys off the bench in a big pinch hit single. And the reason this is a big deal is Heldman, by the way, comes back in as a re-entry as a runner. So Derek, again, with his speed on the base pass, but a big deal because Sam Riola steps to the plate. Now Riola stayed red hot after his 3-hit performance against Newmarket earlier today by leading off the game with a solo home run, but he has struck out twice since. So Dickmeyer with the advantage the last couple of bats. Sam in a big spot here, though, and has the ability to change this game with one swing of the bat. First pitch from Dickmeyer, swinging and missing is Riola. So Again, Riola always seems to be in the middle of it in one way or another, and here he is with a big opportunity. Top of the 7th, 2 out, 2 on. His team now trailing 3-1. Riola watches ball 1-1 the count.
It's just a frying magic or whatever it is. I don't know how they mixed it up or whatever.
1-1 pitch. Go to that outside corner. And Dickmeyer has been getting the call there the last 2 at-bats. That has been Riola's frustration is Dickmeyer's gotten the call. That one looked outside more so than earlier on in the game. So 2-1 the count. And this time reaches out, pokes it into short right. It'll drop. They're going to send the runner. No throw. So the Gators strike back with a run here. They'll have runners on first and third with 2 outs. Riola coming through again. His 5th hit of the day, 2nd in this game. And another RBI. There's Levi Brenning scoring easily on the play. Moving to third is Haldman. And now it's Josh Pooter's turn. Pooter, big cut, strike 1. Pooter struck out in the 1st inning, flew out in the 3rd, grounded out in the 5th. Pooter skies that one towards left. Drifting in, getting under it is Austin Ledoux, makes the play, so Dickmeyer gets out of the jam. Sam Riola gets one back, though, and we head to the bottom of the 7th. Miesville still with the advantage, 3-2 our score.
Nobody does high school sports like PrepSpotlight.tv. Your home for Minnesota State tournament action is also where you can find the best weekly action during the regular season in 2021. We make it easy to be a high school sports fan at PrepSpotlight.tv.
New pitcher on the mound for Champlin. It'll be our 3rd pitcher of the day, Jerry Gooley. So we've seen Jerry in this tournament a few times already. In fact, the numbers on Gooley in 7 innings. He has given up 10 hits. So that was majority of that coming last week against Chanhassen. Obviously a tough spot to be in. Champlin, they're not going to go away. They're down early to Chanhassen. Came back, tied that game before losing it 7-4 eventually. But Jerry, good left-handed arm. St. Scholastica, Division III pitcher. He replaces Jack Herring, who came in after 5 innings of work from Levi Brennan. He will face Ronnie Sweeney, Brian Sprout, and Max Morris due up for Miesville. First pitch swinging for Ronnie, fouled out of play. Sweeney struck out in the 2nd inning. He singled and stole a base in the 5th inning. We're in the bottom of the 7th, under the lights here. Winner moves on, take on the 3-time defending champs. The championship game tomorrow night in Chaska. Whoever moves on would have to beat the Redbirds twice. They'd have to beat them tomorrow night and then again on Monday to bring home the 2021 title. But Chanhassen obviously in the driver's seat. Took out Miesville 3-2 last night over in Hamburg. Dropping the Hens into the losers bracket, and then have to come here to Waconia to try to survive another day. Champlin, 1 win already today. And now battling the tough Miesville Mudhens. Trying not to fall for the 3rd time in the state tournament to Miesville. Having dropped their previous 2 contests. And strike 3 called on the corner. Cooley gets Sweeney. 1 out in the inning. So Brian Sprout now up. Brian has flown out twice. Jerry throwing strikes here. That one dropped in for strike 1. Sprout flies to short right, and Riola going out. Jack Pooter flew by him. So that's Riola again. They get out of his way and let him make plays. So 3 flyouts for Sprout. 2 outs in the inning. Max Morris comes up. Max knocks that one to the right side. One count on Max Morris. Max Gam on deck. Gammer was the beginning of the trouble last time when Miesville rallied in the 5th inning. The 6th inning, rather, last inning. So Morris trying to get on in front of him. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is high, 2-2. Drops in there to center. Pooter. Oh, Pooter taking some steps in, then has to retreat a bit. So a little issue reading the play, but no big deal as it's out number 3. Jerry Cooley cruises through the 7th. We are through 7 in Waconia. 3-2, Miesville in front.
Celebrate the end of the 2021 Town Ball season. Join your teammates, rivals, and ball fans from around the state at the Twins game on September 11th. Special ticket pricing for Town Ball players and fans. Salutes to the newly crowned champs and a very fun night at the ballpark. Order your tickets at twinsbaseball.com/townball and wear your town's team colors to Target Field on September 11th.
Ethan Mackey on deck. He will lead things off for Champlin in the top of the 8th inning. So Champlin and Miesville knotted up in another good one here. 3-2 our score. It was 1-0 Champlin Park after one batter. Sam Riola's leadoff solo home run. Stayed that way till the fourth inning. Miesville able to draw even, and then a 2-run sixth inning, pushing Miesville ahead 3-1 before Champlin pushed one across in the top of the seventh. So each team with 6 hits. We've got 1 error in the game on Champlin. Ethan Mackey 0-1 the count. Slaps that one into right. Leadoff single for Mackey. Now the Champlin faithful getting vocal here, and here comes Vanderbosch. Yeah, I think he's making the move. He is. So that'll be it for Jake Dickmeyer. Jake, good battle here again today in his 3rd start in the tournament. He's going to leave with a lead after surrendering 7 hits. So that's the book on Jake. We'll have an update on our new pitcher for Miesville when we come back live on PrepSpotlight.tv.
All summer long, you have gathered with friends, neighbors, and family at ball yards all across Minnesota.
Still going, gone! A home run!
Diamonds that decorate and help define hundreds of communities. Town Ball binds together our passion for baseball in our hometowns. And on September 11th, the cornerstone of Minnesota baseball, Target Field, will host a party for all those who play, watch, and support Town Ball. The Twins host the Royals at 6:10 p.m. Prior to the game, the newly crowned state amateur champs will be honored at the Town Ball Tavern and during a pregame ceremony. Wear your team colors and enjoy a special night at Target Field.
The 0-2 pitch. Strike 3! Fairmont, state champions in 2020.
Congratulations to the Fairmont Martins. They are your 2020.
For tickets to the Twins' Tip of the Cap to Town Ball on September 11th, visit twinsbaseball.com/townball.
Quinn Kruger, the new pitcher for Miesville, making his first appearance in the tournament. Again, Miesville to this point had used just 3 pitchers. That would have been Dickmeyer, Ahern, and Sjogren. So we'll see if we can get any season stats for you on Quinn Kruger quickly. So Quinn is in. There is nobody out and 1 on after the leadoff single from Ethan Mackey. So Mackey on first base. And that now brings up Jeff Hoyer. Hoyer doubled back in the first inning. Love to have a big hit here for Champlin. First pitch from Kruger, swung on and missed. So closing the book, Dickmeyer makes another good run here. 7s across the board. 7 innings pitched, 7 Ks, 7 hits. But just 2 runs. So he leaves with the lead, and now Hoyer shows bunt. They go way outside. It was Hammis calling that from behind the plate. Good job there. So it's 0-2 now. Hoyer hangs in there. So no season stat updates for you on the pitcher Quinn Kruger. He rips that one back up the middle. Will it be cut off? Yes, but nowhere to go for Sprout. So we'll see what the call is, but that's probably an RBI or infield single, excuse me, and it is an infield single for Hoyer. For the first 2 runners reach here against the Mudhens, and now it's the veteran Ryan Bruns in another big situation. Bruns 0 for 3 as we have a pinch runner now for Hoyer. So coming in to run, John Koenig. So Koenig started second base in our first game against Newmarket. Not in the lineup here, but in for Hoyer to run. So first and second, nobody out. Quinn Kruger trying to hold on for Miesville. Bruns showing bunt. And it's popped up toward first. Sweeney comes in to make the play. Runners scurry back. Bruns not happy about that. One out now, and a huge out for Miesville. Levi Brenning. Big opportunity here. Levi singled and scored in the 7th inning. Again, Levi, the starting pitcher, pitched the first 5 innings for Champlin here tonight, now playing right field. And that one's hit to right. It's got a chance to get down. The dive, it is down. This is going to tie the game. Rounding third, and they're going to push. No, they're going to put him back now, and now we've got a situation where Brenning is going to get picked off second. Uh-oh. And they're going to go for a third and try to get the pick, and they say they got him. Unbelievable. Unbelievable turn of events. So base running blunder from Champlin Park. We do have a tie game, but let's try to unwind that one for you folks. Wow. So it's 3-3 after Brenning doubles to drive in Maki. And the pinch runner, Koenig, was held at third. It was a late stop sign came up, so running behind him was Brenning trying to push for third. He was picked off second. And when the throw went to second, Koenig was too far off third, and then he's picked off. So a base running blunder. Unbelievable. So only one run in the inning. And the Class B bracket continues to bring us excitement here. We now head to the bottom of the 8th inning. So after all of that, Jeff Gooley will come out for another inning for Champlin Park. And Miesville is going to start out with the top of its order and try to, again, chip away here on Champlin Park pitching. So how about that? That's looking back on the book here. So 2 of the first 3 hitters with hits, they make the pitching change. And that was a nice hit by Levi Brenning, the double. And instead of second and third, with the tying run in and only one out, they both get picked off the bases. Unbelievable. Now it's Max Gam. Trying to get it down. Wow, Gooley makes a great play. And there's one out. So Gam tries to get his way on, but Gooley comes over and makes a nice play. So it's Joey Warner coming up. Joey with a single, a walk. He has scored twice. He's got a stolen base. I want to know the count on Warner. So 1-1 count, and that one's way outside, 2-1. Warner at the dish. Tough lefty-lefty matchups here. Matt Vanderbosch, another lefty on deck. Matt, another nice game here tonight. 2 RBI singles. Werner muscles up, hits that one to center. Pooter on his horse to the track, and it's gone! Joey Warner gets the run back for Miesville. A solo jack over the center field fence. He is fired up. And the Mudhens lead it 4-3. Again, tension's running high, but it's Werner with the solo blast. The crowd's getting fired up in here as well. So what we've got here, Matt Merrick talking to the home plate umpire. There was some talking back and forth when Werner was coming around third. Not exactly sure what Merrick is wanting here, but maybe not liking the fact that Werner was showing up the bench a little bit. Now, a long argument here, and the Miesville fans yelling at Merrick. So 4-3 our score. Joey Werner, a 1-out solo jack. I mean, he came off the bat, you could tell he muscled that one up. I wasn't sure it was going to get out, though, the deepest part of the park. And just kept tracking, and Pooter looked up, watched it go over the fence. We have 2 solo jacks in this game. As Merrick gets his money's worth, he is fired up over there. No, just swinging a bat, trying to work out some of that energy. Now it's the other player coach, and Matt Vanderbosch, and he pops one to right. Does that have a chance? Brenning back toward the track, backpedals and makes the grab, so allowed out number 2. Vanderbosch going to jump all over the Gooley pitch, and it'll be up to Austin Ledoux now with 2 outs. At Miesville, now you think of the turn of events here. Again, it could have been second and third with just 1 out for Champlin after they had tied the game up, but with both runners getting picked off. The threat is over, and Miesville comes right back off the bat at Joey Werner. Werner has scored 3 runs now in this game. Obviously tracking right now for player of the game as Schooley delivers. That one's hammered to left. Heldman tracks it right at him. Out number 3. So they hit him hard, and they do hit 1 out. Miesville, after 8, regains the lead 4-3. Top of the 9th. Coming up next on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Town Ball Tour. Head to the small towns and tell people what it's all about.
A lot of excitement. Weather is fantastic.
This place has been here since the early 80s.
This is a baseball town.
The town is here. The kids are here. It's safe. It's a wonderful environment. We certainly met some wonderful characters.
Thanks for joining us for another season of Fox 9's Town Ball Tour.
It's getting late in Waconia. Miesville Mudhens pushed ahead again in this game, 4-3. Top of the 9th inning coming up. Emotions running high, tempers flaring. We've got it all here. 2 solo home runs. And in the 9th, you're going to see Bryce Nelson at least due up. It looks like Bryce is on deck. Then Reed Conley. And then Derek Heldman's spot in the lineup. Now, he was pinch hit for last time by Dylan Wilson. I would imagine that we'll see another pinch hitter. In fact, I think it's going to be the player coach, Matt Merrick, who is Had a few discussions here today with the home plate umpire. Again, just to recap it, Werner hit that home run, and these guys are fired up. So there were some words said as he was rounding third on his way home. And that did not sit well with Merrick, as you can imagine, but laid into the home plate umpire and had a very, very long discussion. And Matt, friend of the program here on PrepSpotlight.tv. Done a great job here with Champlin getting to this point. And the emotions of the state amateur tournament, a lot of tension here. When Kruger's in, remember he relieved Jake Dickmeyer last inning.
7 o'clock tomorrow.
A 1-0 count to Bryce Nelson. Right-hander Kruger fires it in there, out of play, 1-1.
All right, you ready, Luke?
Does Champlin have anything left in the tank here? Try to push back here against Miesville. Kruger high again on that pitch, 2-1. Now the 18th inning of baseball for Champlin on the day. That one down the middle, hit toward the right side. It's got a chance to fall. Diving play, and Werner could not come up with it in right field. So Joey Werner, the man of the hour, dives, can't come up with it. It's ruled a hit. So Bryce Nelson, the leadoff man, is on for Champlin, because of course he is. We're not going out without some drama here in this one. We know that. And now you have player coach Matt Merrick calling the signs from the on-deck circle as he will pitch hit for Heldman after Reed Connolly's at bat. So big Reed up. Reed's got 2 walks in this game. He's showing bunt here. Pulls it back. Rolled outside, 1-0 the count. Showing bunt again. Pitch is low. Hamas smothers it. He's trying to control it here with the young pitcher, telling Kruger to just settle down. 2-0 the count. Tense moments now. Nelson takes a short lead at first. Conley still thinking bunt. It's going to drop. Only play is to first. Sprout covers. Kruger throws over. 1 out. Runner moved to second. And now it is Matt Merrick, the player coach, who was hearing it, getting an earful from the Miesville faithful here a few minutes ago. And now a much more cordial conversation between Matt and the home plate umpire. So Merrick pitch hitting, and here we hear a couple boos out here. Matt, no doubt, enjoying that. Merrick, his second pinch hit appearance in the tournament. He got hit by a pitch on the first pitch he saw 2 games ago. I think it was 3 games ago now, actually, last weekend in the game against Victoria. In that fateful 12th inning, Merrick took one off the back. Takes a strike 1 pitch from Kruger. On the count. Well, Kruger feints like he was going to throw, then actually did go through with it. So 0 the count, 1 out. Nelson on second. Kruger's pitch taken for strike 2. Merrick, East Grand Forks native, standing in at a big spot here. Club down by a run, top of the 9th inning. 1 out. 0-2 pitch. And it's to the right side, and it's through. Are they going to send Nelson? No, they're going to hold him. Throw from Warner comes all the way through, then gets away. Now Nelson scurries home. He'll score easily. Merrick moves to second. And the drama continues. Now it's the Champlin bench up. They are fired up here. So it's Merrick down to second, 1 out in the inning. 4-4. So earlier was a base running blunder from Champlin. And now great base running as Nelson was held up, but a blunder in the field from Miesville. And Miesville's been so good out there. And we're now going to get a pinch runner for Merrick. Is this Ryan Udis? Ryan Udis is in the game. So Ryan Udis, by the way, took a teaching job in Las Vegas. And he's also one of the original members of Champlin Park's team from 2006. So what a moment here as Ryan is back. And for the final weekend, he's here. He came back to play. And now he's on second base with 1 out. And you've got your star player in Sam Riola, who has got a solo home run and an RBI single, and now they walk him intentionally. Crowd getting fired up, and it's Jack Pooter. So Jack still trying to lock it in here. Jack is 0 for 4 on the day, but a big spot here for the young center fielder. Still just 1 out. Riola on first after the intentional walk. Ryan Udis on second. And Pooter, as he has done every at-bat, comes up ready to go. Swings hard. Doesn't make contact, so it's 0-1. What a game here tonight. Champlin trying to push across another run here. Second pitch is outside, 1-1. Pooter, that one, good pitch from Kruger there. He could not quite pull the trigger. So 1-2 the count now. Again, 1 out in the inning. Runners on first and second. Matt Merrick RBI, or the single that cutoff throw came all the way through, allowing Nelson to score to tie the game. And the intentional walk to Riola. And now it's Pooter hanging. 1-2 remains the count. You've got Ethan Mackey, great hitter on deck. Ethan staying locked in over there. Kruger delivers. Ooh, and Pooter holds up, pitches high, 2-2. Good pitch in that situation from Kruger. Just could not get Pooter to take the bait on that one, so 2-2. And swung out and missed. Kruger wins the matchup as Pooter goes down swinging. 2 outs now. Ethan Mackey coming up. It doesn't get any easier. Mackey, 2 hits in this game. He scored a run last inning. Mackey, as good as a hitter as you'll find in the tournament, steps in a huge situation. 1-2, or first and second rather, with 2 outs. Mackey versus Kruger. And he watches that one go by, ball 1. Outside, 2-0. Really, this part of the lineup has been good today. Maki with 2 hits. Jeff Hoyer's on deck. They need him to step up. He's got 2 hits here today as well. 10 hits total for Champlin. 2-0 pitch coming up to Maki. Swung on, driven towards center field. That's not going to be an easy play. Actually, it's Brian Sprout going back and making it. So the veteran, that one got up in the airstream and just kind of died. And it was Sprout tracking it from his second base spot. We're going to the bottom of the 9th inning, folks. Knotted at 4. You don't want to miss any of this late inning action on Prep Spotlight, Spotlight.tv. Keep it right here. We'll be right back.
Nobody does high school sports like PrepSpotlight.tv. Your home for Minnesota State tournament action is also where you can find the best weekly action during the regular season in 2021. We make it easy to be a high school sports fan at PrepSpotlight.tv.
So an exciting couple innings here as Joey Warner's home run put Miesville back in front in the bottom of the 8th inning. So Champlin down to their final 3 outs. Get a leadoff single from Bryce Nelson. They bunt him over. Then the manager, player manager Matt Merrick with the pinch hit RBI single. And now we're back out here for the bottom of the 9th. First pitch swinging, Hammis rounds out to Nelson at short. And Jerry Gooley back out for another inning in relief here for Champlin. Jake Smith comes up. If you want to look ahead, Champlin has one game that went to extra innings so far in this tournament. That was that 12-inning epic battle against Victoria in round 2. And Miesville hadn't really played what you consider a close game until last night against Chanhassen. They've been all business moving through the brackets. That one's going to be a tough play out there. And it falls. So Miesville's got an opportunity. That's Pat Pernauld out there, the new left fielder, and Jake Smith hit one out there. It was a tough angle. And we're going to see, still waiting for the official score on this one. So Pat Pernauld, they're going to give him a hit, so a double is the ruling. Jake Smith now the winning run on second. And Ronnie Sweeney at the dish. Ronnie struck out his last time up. Has a hit and a stolen base earlier in the game. First pitch from Gooley, taken for a strike. Brian Sprout on deck. There's one out in the inning. Time called. So Gooley will step off. So again, it was Levi Brenning who started this game for Champlin, gave way to Jack Herring. Now to Jerry Gooley, trying to work out of a bit of a jam here. To say the least, one out, runner on second. That runner, Jake Smith, happens to be the game-winning run as we're in the bottom of the ninth inning. We've gone back and forth in this contest. Champlin led it. Miesville tied it. Miesville then led by 2. Champlin chipped away to tie it. And it was 4-3 Miesville after the Warner home run. As that one is ripped toward right. And it's hanging up. Coming over, making the grab. In right field, I believe still playing out there in right field is Levi Brenning. So Brenning handles it for the second out. And now it's Brian Sprout, the 41-year-old veteran. And they're going to walk Brian. Not a bad idea, except now you have to face Max Morris, and we've mentioned it a couple times, but coming in, Max, top hitter in the lineup in the tournament for the Mudhens. So what a spot for him. So runners on first and second now. Again, the one out double by Jake Smith, and now the intentional walk, Brian Sprout. And Gooley facing Max Morris. Morris, first pitch swinging. Foul ball. Morris, by the way, 0 for 3. Clutch spot here for Max. And that one's hit towards right. It's got a chance to get down. It'll fall. Jake Smith in with the winning run. He slides in as Miesville moves on to Championship Sunday. What a game here tonight. The way it should be. Two teams looking to stay alive here. And back-to-back tight games for the Mudhens. They lose last night to Chanhassen. They push ahead a run in the ninth inning, bottom of the ninth, the walk-off hit from Max Morris. A 5-4 victory over the Champlin LoGators. And that earns them another chance at the Redbirds tomorrow. Championship game tomorrow night. If they beat Chanhassen, that'll lead to the final on Monday. So it should be a good one in the Class B bracket as the two dynasty teams will meet tomorrow for Miesville, after Miesville walking off Champlin Park here tonight. So let's recap what happened here. In the top of the first, the leadoff home run from Sam Riola, who had a great tournament. And Sam put on a show here for the Champlin LoGators in this tournament. So they win it they lead it 1-0 after the leadoff solo home run from Riola. And then Joey Warner in the bottom of the fourth, it was still 1-0. Joey Warner with a single. He stole second, scored on the Matt Vanderbosch RBI single, so it was 1-1 after 4. Stayed that way until the sixth. Then 3 singles for Miesville, including an RBI knock again from Vanderbosch. The other run in the inning scored on a pass ball, so it was 3-1 after 6. In the top of the seventh, it was Riola striking again an RBI single. His second run driven in the game, so it was 3-2. In the top of the eighth, singles by Ethan Mackey and by Hoyer, Jeff Hoyer. And then an RBI double from Levi Brenning, but blunders on the base path. Both runners were picked off inexplicably, ending the inning with the score tied 3-3. In the bottom of the 8th, back come the Mudhens again. A Joey Warner solo home run over center field. At that point, tensions were high, and the benches getting a little chirpy, but it was 4-3 Miesville heading to the 9th inning. Bryce Nelson then led off with a single. He was bunted over. Matt Merrick, player-manager, comes in with the pinch hit RBI single. 4-4 to the bottom of the 9th, but a one-out double by Jake Smith. He was later brought in off the walk-off hit from Max Morris. Continues to have a really good tournament, the young third baseman here for Miesville. So how about that? Great day of baseball once again here in the Class B bracket, this time from Waconia. So Champlin, great season comes to an end. They've made it farther than they ever have in the tournament, and getting this far, the double elimination, taking out New Market to earn the nightcap matchup where they fall 5-4 to the Mudhens. So Hens, Redbirds will be right here, prepspotlight.tv. Can the Birds bring it home for a 4th consecutive year? We hope you join us to find out. I'm signing off on this Saturday night saying thank you so much for joining us live on prepspotlight.tv. We'll see you for another great day of baseball tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody.
Amateur baseball is one of Minnesota's great sporting traditions. The state tournament brings together hundreds of communities in late summer at great ballparks all around the state. Coverage of every game can be found on prepspotlight.tv. PrepSpotlight.tv's coverage of today's state tournament game is made possible by the Minnesota Baseball Association, and also with help from the Minnesota Twins. Celebrate Townball with the Twins on September 11th. Visit twinsbaseball.com/townball for details. Now let's get to the ballpark.